Welcome to this chilling tale, where the boundaries between the past and present blur. In this story, every day brings a new figure from history's shadows into a town gripped by fear. Witness as the residents grapple with the haunting mystery of why these figures from dark events appear and how they struggle to avoid their grim fate. This is my own harrowing journey into the City of Memories. In a secluded part of the world, there lies a city shrouded in perpetual twilight, known only to its inhabitants as a place where the past and present intertwine in the most sinister ways. Every day, like clockwork, another figure from the city's darkest history appears on its cobblestone streets. They come from epochs of suffering, despair, and terror, each carrying with them the echoes of their tragic past. I had lived in the city all my life, accustomed to its strange rhythms, yet the relentless appearance of these figures had always been a source of uneasy curiosity, rather than outright fear until one day that fear became personal. The first figure that arrived on that fateful morning was someone I recognized from a history book, a woman who had been accused of witchcraft centuries ago, her story ending in flames and falsehoods. The city buzzed with speculation. Who were these apparitions? Why did they emerge from the shadows of bygone eras? As the days passed, each figure brought with them a sense of impending doom, and a dark pattern began to emerge. Each apparition seemed to be a harbinger of something far more malevolent than mere ghostly presence. Residents of the city, including myself, began to investigate these nightly apparitions. We sought answers in old records, folklore, and every scrap of history we could find. The city itself seemed to hold its breath as we uncovered fragments of forgotten secrets and witnessed the unfolding terror. Every encounter with these figures left us shaken. Some of them, it seemed, were bound to our city by forces beyond our understanding. Their motives were unclear, but the danger they posed was palpable. The city's old guard, once stoic and unyielding, now faltered under the pressure of these nightly hauntings. With each passing day, our lives became a fragile dance between avoiding the grips of these historical horrors and seeking to unravel the truth behind their appearances. The dark truth that we began to uncover hinted at a curse that bound our city to an eternal cycle of fear and torment, driven by the unresolved guilt and anger of those who had come before. In the end, the City of Memories stood as a testament to the shadows of our past, both a sanctuary and a prison for those who dared to dwell too long in the realm of forgotten darkness. The struggle to escape the cycle of fear became not just a fight for survival but a desperate quest for redemption. As the days turned into weeks, the city's atmosphere grew increasingly oppressive. Every dawn brought with it a new figure from the past, each more harrowing than the last. It was as though the city was a vessel for unresolved anguish, and each apparition was a piece of the puzzle that had been locked away for centuries. The townsfolk and I, despite our varied backgrounds and professions, were united in our desperation to understand and escape this nightmare. We gathered every evening in the central square, a place that now felt less like a community space and more like a stage for the relentless drama that was unfolding. Here, we shared our findings and theories, hoping that one of us might stumble upon the key to breaking the curse. Our research led us to the city archives, where dusty records and tattered manuscripts hinted at an ancient and malevolent force that had once plagued our ancestors. The more we delved into the history, the clearer it became that these apparitions were not random. They were drawn to the city by an unspeakable injustice, a legacy of cruelty and betrayal that had its roots deeply embedded in the city's foundation. One evening, a particularly chilling figure appeared, a man whose face was obscured by a tattered hood. He seemed to be the embodiment of despair itself, his presence causing an unnatural chill to envelop the town. Unlike previous apparitions, this man did not interact with the living. He simply wandered silently through the streets, his every step leaving a trace of frost. As I followed this enigmatic figure, I felt a growing sense of dread. He led me to the outskirts of the city, where an old, abandoned chapel stood. The chapel had long been forgotten, its history buried under layers of neglect. Inside, I discovered a hidden chamber, filled with ancient symbols and inscriptions that seemed to pulse with an eerie energy. It was clear that this was the heart of the cursed place where dark rituals had once been performed. The inscriptions told a story of a powerful entity that had been summoned long ago by a group of city elders seeking to gain control over forces beyond their comprehension. They had bound this entity to the city, hoping to harness its power for their own ends. However, their arrogance had backfired. The entity's anger had transformed the city into a prison, with each apparition representing a fragment of the entity's wrath. Armed with this knowledge, we convene once more in the central square, preparing for a final, desperate attempt to break the curse. We knew that to do so, we had to confront the entity directly. Guided by the ancient symbols, we performed a ritual intended to appease and release the entity from its torment. The ritual was arduous, fraught with danger and uncertainty. As we chanted the incantations and performed the required actions, the air grew thick with malevolent energy. The apparitions that had once tormented us began to gather, their forms shifting and writhing in the spectral glow of the ritual's light. The culmination of the ritual was a moment of profound tension. The entity appeared, a shadowy figure of immense power, its presence suffused with centuries of rage and sorrow. We faced it with a mixture of fear and resolve, reciting the final words of the incantation as our voices trembled. As the last syllable echoed through the chapel, a blinding light erupted, and the entity's form began to dissipate. The apparitions, too, started to fade, their anguished faces relaxing into serene expressions. The curse was being lifted, and the city was finally free from the grip of its dark past. With the dawn of a new day, the city emerged from its shroud of darkness. The cobblestone streets were bathed in sunlight, and the oppressive atmosphere had lifted. The residents, though exhausted, felt a profound sense of relief and renewal. We had faced our fears and, in doing so, had cleansed the city of its dark legacy. In the days that followed, the city began to heal. The past was still a part of our collective memory, but it no longer dictated our present. The apparitions had vanished, and with them, the fear and despair they had brought. Life slowly returned to normal, though the experience left an indelible mark on all of us. As I reflect on these events, I am reminded that the past, though it may be shrouded in darkness, can be confronted and understood. It is through facing our deepest fears and acknowledging our collective history that we find the strength to overcome even the most insidious curses. And so, the city of memories, now free from its spectral chains, stands as a testament to the resilience of its people and the power of confronting the shadows of our past.